All right. So, guys, if you had your choice, which book would you rather have, Hulk 1 or Fantastic Four #1?
Hey, everybody. Once again, we have our special guest, Vincent Zurzolo, and he is going to show us some amazing books and other comic related items. Ben Labanog is here with us to provide some color commentary. Vincent, take it away.
And I'm going to start off with a banger. Captain America #1, CGC graded 7.0. This book is an absolute knockout. Now, I've seen 7.0s that barely look like 6.5s, and this book is a 7.0 that looks like it could be a 7.5. I'm really into colors. I love a beautiful strike, great color saturation. It looks like it was printed yesterday. This book has all of that. The prime focal area, as I call it, where Cap is knocking out Hitler, is really sharp. It's just, there's no blemishes, there's no nothing there. I've got another really big book to show you guys. This is my favorite character in all of comic books, and a really, really cool book. You've got it right here. Amazing Spider-Man #1, CGC graded 9.4. This is one of the best copies in the world. It's one of the things you have to be very careful of on Spider-Man #1 is there's a lot of gray in here, and sometimes those smudge either from the printing or later on from somebody with a big sweaty thumb putting their finger on there. But this is such an important book. Spider-Man's first self-titled comic book, as well as their first crossover, the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man.
Usually, when you see an Amazing Spider-Man #1 in that grade, it's the Golden Record reprint. And for those folks who aren't familiar, the way you can tell them apart, or one of the ways, is that the Golden Record reprint doesn't have that 12 cents on the top left-hand corner. So this is the legit Amazing Spider-Man #1 from 1963.
Another key Golden Age book that we have in the auction that I thought you guys would get a kick out of, and I think when I think of comic books that are represent Americana, I think of Disney comic books. I think of maybe Archie. So I think Archie is as American as apple pie, and I just love Archie comic books. And this is the first issue. A lot of people don't realize that Archie #1 came out in 1942, so it's a wartime book. One of the best stories I have was I was at a show in Dubai, and this lovely young lady from Jordan came by, and she said, "Oh my God, Archie!" And she bought a Golden Age Archie, and she said, "I grew up on Archie." I was like, "Really? You grew up in the Middle East on Archie?" She said, "Yes, I went to an international school, and they had comic books from America, and they were Archie comic books." When you think about how wholesome Archie is, it makes a lot of sense that they could have that in a school for kids. When I think of my favorite Marvel movie, I go all the way back to Blade, and we've got Tomb of Dracula #10. CGC graded 9.8. This is just a knockout. White pages. I want to take you guys through a consignment that I really thought was a lot of fun. And we're talking about Batman. We're talking about Detective Comics 140, the first Riddler, and CGC graded 4.5. He's featured in multiple movies. He's one of Batman's most famous arch enemies. Not a Riddler fan? Well, how about Penguin? This is the first appearance of Penguin. Now, I wish he was on the cover. Maybe he's underwater somewhere. He is the Penguin. Another copy, this one in the 7.5. And this is where it all started. Detective Comics 58.
Hey, Vinny, what would you say out of all the Batman villains outside of the Joker? What's probably the most requested villain in comic books that customers want?
Well, from the Golden Age, I think it would probably be one of these two. And then you also have Detective 168, the Red Hood.
Yeah.
But I think out of the Silver Age, it's got to be it's either got to be 181, the first Poison Ivy, or this book.
Yeah.
Mr.
That book,
Zero or Mr. Freeze.
People love that book. I mean, the last couple of years, it's nonstop demand for that.
So this is a very cool book, and this is from the Savannah collection, which is a really neat pedigree. I can't say I know a ton about it other than I think it's from Georgia. I have two other cool books, Batman #2 and Batman #4. You know what? I'm just going to go with this one right now. Action #7. Now, in 1938, we believed a man could leap tall buildings in a single bound, and he appears on the cover for the first time, Superman, and Action Comics #1, but then takes 6 more issues to get him back on the cover, And here we have this gorgeous 5.0 copy. This is one of the most important comic books of the Golden Age. Man, I liked Superman back then. He was a little bit more like, if you do something bad, I'm going to kill you. And he did that a lot. The whole idea that Superman never kills is something that came much later. In the early issues, I remember a comic book I read, I think it was Superman number 10, where he goes and finds this dictator who had been killing his own people. And he basically comes down, grabs him, jumps up in the air, and he says, now you're going to face justice. And he lets him go. All Negro Comics, number 1. CGC graded 7.5. Now, these books do not grow on trees. This is a very, very rare book. Number 1, the paper quality was very poor. A lot of these come in with brittle pages. To see one with off-white pages is a big deal. And it's also, this is a pedigree. It's the D copy. So if you buy this in the auction, you could get it reholded with the beautiful gold pedigree label. It's from 1947. It's the first Black American published, written, drawn, edited comic book, and it's published by Orrin C. Evans, who was a journalist, and he wanted to see comic books with people that look like him. If you notice, what's also really cool about it, it's one of the only Golden Age comic books with a 15-cent cover price. Let's move over to the Silver Age. Here's just a great book. Anytime I have one in my auctions, I'd love to talk about it. Amazing Fantasy 15, 1962, 4.5, first Spider-Man. Let's get back to the classics, and possibly one of the most classic Golden Age titles is Batman. And here we have 2 knockout copies. A Batman number 3 in 9.0, white pages, third appearance of Catwoman, first time she's in a costume. And Batman number 6 in 9.6, the Allentown copy, the single highest graded copy, first appearance and death of the Clockmaker. These books, when you look at the scans online, your jaw's going to drop.
I believe that the best known copy of Tech 27 is actually the Allentown copy. I don't think it's been graded, but folks have said it's probably a 9.4. So for everybody out there, if you want to be kind of part of perhaps the best Batman collection that was ever, assembled or kept, it's probably from the Allentown collection.
And here we go, the Joker card cover, Batman number 11, a real classic. Toughest thing to do on these books is to get it where there's a white cover. It's very easy for that to get ruined. This book is pretty darn nice. A very rare book, Catman 15. For those of you watching, putting a Catman run together is something that a lot of Golden Age collectors try to do. There's certain issues that are really tough, and this is one of them. Have either of you ever tried to put a Catman collection together?
I haven't done a run, but I'm obsessed with 31 and 32. 31's where he's in the middle of all the wolves and he's got Kitten in his arms, and then 32 is the fish one, and I have not gotten that fish cover yet, but I really want that one.
I'm going to show you guys. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you guys something really cool. We auctioned this off, and then I found the guy. I kept in touch with the guy who won it, and I got it back. I bought it back from him. And this is, I think, the only existing Catman cover art. Here's another great book, Detective Comics 29, 5.5, beautiful colors. It's the first appearance of Dr. Death, the second Batman cover. We're going to go over to Detective 62, the Joker balloon cover. Really gorgeous black cover there.
Vinny, did you know that Jerry Robinson was the first to kind of christen the floating heads on covers, and that was the book that kind of established that? So when you see Marvels in the Silver Age or anything in the 50s, or that concept was started by Jerry Robinson.
Silver Age, we're going to go with 2 Marvel keys. Boom, Fantastic Four and Hulk number 1. These are great copies in mid-grade to have for your collection of 5.5 and a 5.0. Fantastic Four movie is coming out soon. This one's got a really nice right edge, no Marvel chippings on it. And then Hulk number 1, also no Marvel chipping, 5.0, very, very nice. There's a couple creases on it, but great color and a nice book.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to make that Hulk one look really bad because that's a book I'm going after.
Oh, okay, great. This is an ugly Hulk number 1. Nobody should bid on this except for Keston. All right, so guys, if you had your choice, which book would you rather have? Value is not a part of the equation.
I've always been a Hulk one guy. That particular book with the question mark always does it for me. I just like that question mark.
I just recently got a Fantastic Four number 1 from you all, Vinny. Okay. This is about a year ago. Right now, I'm kind of more like Hulk one, but I got the Fantastic Four one first, so I don't know. It's pretty much a toss-up.
For me, there are several characters I really love in the Marvel universe, and Hulk is one of them. So for me, it would be the Hulk #1. Here's a great book, FF #4, CGC graded 9.0, first Silver Age appearance of Subby. Now, for anybody out there who doesn't know, Johnny Storm finds a guy who's like a bum on a pier. He looks at him and he goes, "My God, this guy looks familiar." And he flames on his finger and peels away or shaves away the guy's beard, and he realizes it's Submariner, and the guy's got amnesia. He doesn't know who he is. So Johnny Storm is like, "I gotta help this guy," and he basically takes him and throws him into the water. And as the guy's falling, like, "I can't swim," and he goes in it, and the water brings back his memory, and there you have Submariner. Now that's what I dreamed of when I dreamed of a Submariner being in a movie.
Ben, is that a book or a character you like? Do you like Submariner?
I love Submariner.
Just a little bit. That's actually my favorite Silver Age Marvel key or Marvel book is that one.
Oh, really?
I absolutely love Submariner. When Submariner gets dropped in the pier, he comes out and he says to Johnny, "You've just signed the death warrant for the."
Yeah. Hey, Aquaman. First appearance of Aquaman. We talked about Submariner's first Silver Age appearance. Now we're going to talk about Aquaman's first Golden Age appearance. And what's really important about this book, other than it being Aquaman's first appearance, is that it's also Green Arrow and Speedy's first appearance. Here are two very, very cool, timely comics. When we think of timely, we think about Captain America, Human Torch, Submariner. But you think about some of the less well-known characters, and you think about the Destroyer.
Himmel, my head.
Yeah, Himmel, my head. So these are two great copies. #8 and #9, 8.0, 8.5. Each one is great in their own way. This has got a really cool bondage cover. You've got a Japanese soldier here as well. You've got the girl not only going into spikes, but also a furnace. So that's not good. It's so cool.
Yeah, Vincent, can you hold those two books together? Yeah, this is like a love letter to Ben.
Yeah.
We just made a video about him doing some trades for those two books. Now they are to get, and those grades are outrageous for those two.
Check this out. Pep #20. Scarce book, 8.0 condition. And you see the swastika there with people's hands reaching out. Two more great books that we have in this auction. Superman #3 and 4, super high grades, both of them 8.5s. I don't know if I had to pick between this is the second appearance of Luthor. I like the 3, the cover a lot. The 4 is probably one of the first Golden Age Supermans I ever bought. Now, ECs in general are not the most scarce books because they were highly collected. And then, of course, there's 12 copies in super high grade of each book from the Gaines file copies. One of the toughest books to find out of all the ECs, I believe, is Tales of Terror Annual #1. Find me one. I don't remember the last time I've seen one up for auction. This book is super tough.
That's another one that every 4 or 5 years you might see one pop up publicly, but that's the toughest of all the annuals, and it's definitely the DC.
And it's got a great cover by Al Feldstein, who, by the way, I got to interview on my old radio show. We've brought back the Comic Zone. You can go on Spotify, Apple Music, any aggregator, and you can listen to them. We've talked a lot about the male superheroes, but when you think about the #1 female superhero, you go straight to Wonder Woman. And here you have Wonder Woman #1, 8.0. Oh, to get one of these in 8.0, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have All-Star #8, Sensation #1, and then you got Wonder Woman #1.
So one of the soldiers at the bottom, does he have like a Hitler-like mustache?
Actually, yeah, he does. This one right here.
Okay, I thought.
Yeah. The foreign comic books are so cool. It's a big part of the market that we're trying to develop further. First of all, this is really cool. A Famous Funnies foreign edition. This is the Mexican edition. You got this Famous Funnies Frazetta cover. This is awesome. Green Lantern #1. But it says Batman. It's so cool. But it's got the Green Lantern cover, and the colors are a little off and different. Another Frazetta cover. We've got Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle #59, but it's actually the John Carter Warlord of Mars painting. Here's Oguri, and this is actually all Kid Comics number 7. So I mean, wow, it's timely from the gold, and then yet, like, look at the back cover. It's kind of cool. Here's Spidey 129. This is from Brazil. Spidey #1 from Brazil. Wow, how cool is that?
Eddie, would you say that a lot of your foreign comic customers, they abroad overseas, or are they here in America?
You're the second person to ask me that today. It's a mix. There are a lot of American collectors, but there's also expats that live in America now from other countries that collect. So that's kind of cool. First full appearance of the Smurfs. It's a Belgian comic called Spirou 1071. Here's an oversized UK edition magazine for Dracula Lives #21, but is actually the first Blade. Hey, it's Kenny. Kenny's here with the pulps. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Kenny. Just drop them off there. You have a man fighting a robot over a woman, which, who knows, with AI and everything going the way it is, maybe one day there will be some type of situation like this. I'm a big fan of Red Dragon #7. This is another comic book where the guy's innards are being blown away, but this time in outer space. So Fantastic Adventures #1. Here's another one I love. A Robot Fighting a Lion. That's Amazing Stories Volume 3, #7, from 1928. Before there were timelies, you do have Marvel Stories and Marvel Science Stories. And these are from 1939 and 1940. Super cool covers, a bondage cover here. This one, a classic. This is Volume 1, #4, a science fiction cover. And here's a cover that really speaks to the old adage, it's not polite to stare. It's crazy. Our auction, by the way, ends March 17th through the 21st. 17th is original art. Original art really is something that I believe is like a time capsule. This one is one of the blockbuster pieces in our auction by none other than legendary George Perez. This FF Annual #15 has a scroll. It's got Captain Marvel, it's got the FF, and it's got Doctor Doom. You love Silver Age, you love Jack Kirby. This is Thor's only his 4th appearance. There's great panels of Thor here, the hammer, Mjolnir, his mighty Uru hammer. And you've got Thor in 5 of the 6 panels. From Marvel Comics Presents #84, this Barry Windsor Smith page, all black backgrounds, Wolverine. The Weapon X storyline is extraordinary, and this is a key piece of art. If you're looking for something kind of in that classic vein of Tim Sale's art, here you have Superman. This is Superman for All Seasons #1. Talk about FF, we talk about Jack Kirby. This is the first non-Kirby splash. This is from FF #103. This is John Romita. What a cool splash. You got the FF, you've got Subby, who we've talked a lot about this episode, and then you've got Magneto, John Buscema. One of my favorite artists of the Silver Age. Here he is on Fantastic Four, issue number 117. You got the Human Torch, you got Diablo, you've got Crystal, you've got little inset images of Reed, Sue, and Ben. I'm a huge Wolverine fan, and I adore this Jim Lee commission. Look at how big it is. This thing is probably the biggest Jim Lee commission he ever did of Wolverine. Got more Kirby for you. Sandman. This is a knockout. I think it's beautiful image of Sandman. You got these kind of frog alien monster guys taking this little kid out of the bed. Now, when we think of Batman, we think of the best artist to draw the cape and cowl. You think of Marshall Rogers, but before Marshall, you think of Jim Aparo. And here is a beautiful piece of cover art by Jim Aparo. Batman #341. Batman looking over his shoulder, kind of shocked. He's holding a candle. It's like, I don't know, a haunted house. The Ghost of Wayne Manor is the name of the story. Adam Kubert, a great artist, a family of great artists. And this is a really unique Wolverine cover in that it's done on what's called scratch board, where the board is black and you scratch away in almost a negative space drawing out. If you look really close, you can see this. The Wolverine is just intense. The line work and the cross hatching on this cover. These are Joe Jusko Marvel masterpieces from 2014. You got Mary Jane, super cool. I'm pretty sure this is Joe's wife, Linda, as the model, but it's got that cool, funky 1960s vibe to it. Quicksilver running fast as he should. And here is Grog. Yeah, one of the pre-hero Marvel monsters that Jack Kirby created. And then none other than Iron Man, the original Iron costume. Done in gold, we have Alex Ross on Batman. This is War on Crime. And you got this great image of Batman leaping into the scene, another image above that, and it's beautiful, like double page paintings by Alex Ross.
Vincent, thank you so much for coming on the show. And for everybody out there, let us know what your favorite piece was, whether it was a comic book, a piece of art, a foreign comic book, pulp, let us know. Ben, by the way, what was your favorite piece?
I think I'm going after that Hulk one, no question.
And me too.
Benny, what do you think of that? You think I should go for it?
Yeah, I think it'd be great in your collection.
Yeah, I would say for me, my favorite is probably Action 7. And honestly, the worst comic book in the bunch is the Hulk one. So nobody bid on that one because Keston definitely does not want it.